So Zed joined us today and talked with us about what's really happening with the power struggle, the wars that's happening right now. Kind of clarified for us what that really is, why it's happening, how it ends, how we as human beings help it end, and what needs to happen so that we can get on the other side and move towards unity consciousness where we want to be. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. Hello, beloved ones. We are the ones called Zed, and we are happy to be with you today as we help make sense of what is happening in these war times, in these conflict times, in these wrapping up or concluding times of the negativity. And we say it that way because we want you to understand that the reason all of these big, huge demonstrations of excessive power, of abuse of power that are happening in all the places in the world, the reason that they are happening is because those that have been in power up until now are feeling their loss of control, their loss of power. They are feeling their inability to manage or control as they were able to do before, because in the previous times, they were able to manage and control situations through manipulation. They did not have to use power in order to get what they wanted. They used their charisma and their charm. And then when that didn't work, they used their threat of power. But now that also no longer works. So now they are required to use their threats, to make good on those threats, to use that power in order for them to try to maintain any sort of power. And we hesitate when we say that power because in reality, they are showing the world that they actually do not have any power at all, because powerful people, powerful beings, do not have to harm others in order to be successful, to be admired, to be respected. It's those that have very little self-control, those that have an inability to manage their own thoughts and emotions. Those are the ones that immediately go to using their power, their authority, their strength to harm others, to strike out, to humiliate, to target, to harm, and in these situations now, to actually kill other people. And they're not doing it to kill the other people. They are not doing it to harm the other people. They are doing it to feel a sense of power that they have lost, because they have no understanding of power any other way. And you say, well, this is a childish understanding of power, and we agree, it is a very infantile understanding of power. And it is coming to an end, because there is a point where attacking other people ends. And it can end in multiple ways. There is no other people to attack, or those people attack you back, or dozens and dozens of other ways. But eventually, that attacking ends because it ends. It has to. It is not indefinite. There are only so many bombs that can be dropped. And then it ends. And then what? And what you find in these last grasping needs of people in power who do not understand true power, but who absolutely will not hand over their power, these last childish, abusive, destructive tantrums that they're having with their power, they begin to turn on each other. When they can no longer get power from other people, they begin to turn on each other because they need someone to love them, someone to respect them, someone to lift them up and tell them that they are powerful and charismatic and amazing. And then that stops. And then they're left in a vacuum. And many times when they're left in that vacuum, those souls that have refused to mature, have refused to find their way to mastering their own thoughts and emotions, and they find themselves in a state of abandonment, a state of loneliness that they've not experienced before, because up until then, there's always been people to pat them on the back and tell them they're amazing and give them all the respect and the honors that they've ever dared to desire. And when none of that exists anymore, and they cannot charm people, and they cannot manipulate people, and they cannot abuse people, and they cannot bomb people into giving it to them, they have to face themselves. And they will make one of two choices. They will face themselves and say, I don't want to be this person. I want to do better. Or they will unsubscribe from life. Meaning, the next go around, they will come back with the same issues and the same problems until they figure out how to solve them. Now, hopefully, all the other souls that are on the planet that experience the results of this individual's tantrums and manipulations and coercions and bombs, they will have learned their lesson of don't believe the illusions and delusions. And so in the next lifetimes or the next lifetimes, they will not elect those charismatic, manipulative, power-seeking officials. They will keep them in their place. They will ignore them, not give them energy. They will look down upon their neediness and send them to therapy and send them to places where they can learn to manage their own thoughts and emotions and become a healthy, contributing member of society. And that's how that cycle works. And so while that makes sense as a cycle, and understanding that that may actually be the cycle that happens for the people that are in power doing terrible things right now, that doesn't solve the people in power doing terrible things right now. And we've already said that those people have to be replaced. So ensure that the voting occurs, that it's done accurately, that all the people who are eligible to participate in voting, that they do vote, and that power is shifted from the greedy and the billionaires, and it's shifted out of that and into unity consciousness, supporting all beings, including Mother Earth, shifted into health and wellness of the mind, the body, the emotions, the spirit. And a new foundation begins to take hold, a new vision, a new focal point, where anyone who is throwing a tantrum now no longer gets attention. They do not have their needs met by society as they are now, but instead they are not given any attention at all, where they are forced to learn to manage their thoughts and emotions and to become a cooperative contributor to society. That is how the shift changes. That is how the shift maintains itself. And that's how the shift occurs, is because each human being has to make the choice to evolve or not evolve in order for progress to be made. Every day, every human soul is choosing either to evolve or not evolve. Every day, 100 times a day. And the more 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 that choose to evolve and do their mental and emotional work, that decides how they want to proceed and who they want to be and how they want to show up in their families and in their careers and in the world. That is how the world changes. And there will be people who say, I am not the person who presses this button to launch this bomb. And then there'll be another and another and another. And they'll say, that's not who I choose to be. I choose to be the person that uses diplomacy, that speaks in truth, that fixes the actual problems and doesn't dominate others to get my will. And so this walking through of all of this destruction is how change occurs. Because each soul has to choose who they want to be and how they want to move forward. And whether it's you with your finger on a button, or it's you driving to school with the kids, or it's you working in a high-rise building, or it's you driving the bus, or it's you doing healing work, you have to choose all day long, every day, who you want to be. And we have encouraged the one speaking for almost a decade now. When she's in a quandary and doesn't know what to do, the question that she asks herself is, who do I want to be in this moment? Who do I want to be in this moment? And then she checks in. Am I giving my power away? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I deluding myself? And then she makes a choice and decides who she wants to be, and then takes action as that person. And that's what all of you are doing, whether you know it or not. It's just she does it consciously because we have trained her to do so. And if you wish to pray for the humans that are on the planet right now, pray that they will make the highest choice they can make. Pray that they can make the highest choice that they can make for who they want to be moving forward. Do they want to be the person with their finger on the button? Or do they want to be somebody else? Pray that they have courage, that they find the light within themselves, and they have the continuity to follow through, so that it becomes not just, oh, I once thought about that, but an actual transformation of their lives. Because as each person changes, it changes the entirety of the human experience. And so if there's no longer people willing to have their finger on the button because they don't want to be that person, then the button is no longer an option. It no longer is a thing. It's no longer a threat. And so you evolve out of the current states of being by making choices more aligned with who you want to be. And as every person does that, that's how society shifts and changes. And we say this every time, but we want to continue to let you know, because there has been an illusion or delusion on the planet that there is someone outside of the human condition that's coming to save the human condition. And that just is not, that is not true. That is not the case. That is not even possible. For only beings in the human condition can affect the human condition. We can support you, we can encourage you, we can help you align, we can educate you and inform you, but you are the choice maker. You are the doer of the deeds in the human experience. And only humans can make the changes necessary to move through the current state of affairs and into unity consciousness, which is where you want to be, which is that 5D evolution. We know we've been talking about heavy things. That is because you're in a heavy time. And we want to help you understand what's truly happening and what truly must happen in order for it to change. We are not blowing smoke. We are not whitewashing you or lightwashing you or gaslighting you. We're telling you the truth. You are the ones you've been waiting for. And you can do it. We're happy to answer your questions, and we will see you next time. Hi friends, thank you so much for watching. Please put your questions or your comments down below. I will read all of them, I promise. And I'll look forward to seeing you on our live Q&A on Wednesday.